Swerve in Our Glory against the Lucha Brothers and Ibrahim. They had a boy. I'm missing something here because I know there was an interview where Abraham. They don't need this guy. I'd rather them not say anything or have anybody talking for them if Abrahantis is going to do the talking. Because they got Pac doing the talking. I don't know why Abrahantis has to say this. He's a weird character. What's the purpose of him? I don't know.
It's like a male cheerleader kind of gimmick without the pom poms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. And it's like I guess he's over a little bit because his crowd, because they're baby faces. But okay, I did not. This match was kind of weird because it had some decent spots, had some ridiculous spots where I'm not a fan of the two guys holding hands with each other, jumping on the ropes together, jumping up. It's kind of some of those, but like the work, wasn't bad except this is a thigh slap festival. The Lucha Brothers are just doing. I mean, maybe that's Lucha down there. Everybody slapping the thighs and everything. They're doing it on every strike, and like the whole match just sounds like this. Like there's just a smack and a slap at that like every 15, 20 seconds. It's like I'm not a fan of this, but I did like the way they set the spot set up where the spot they did where they went into the Canadian Destroyer that he gave to what's his name to Keith Lee was actually set up decent. I mean, it looked choreographed, but it kind of did make sense in that the way it played out and everything. But basically this was actually pretty good because the match didn't really get ridiculous. It won 8 minutes, but it was 8 minutes of the crowd was into it. This was an action-packed 8 minutes, and I think if they would have done the typical thing where they do 13 and 14 minutes, it probably would have taken away from this. But what did you think of this match?
I'm glad that you brought that up, that they were slapping their thighs a lot, because I didn't notice that. And if that's the case, I'm going to notice it in Mexico, because I've been telling all of our talent to cut that out. The other thing is that this match was just, and I do matches like this every now and then myself, so I don't want to sound hypocritical, but it was just kind of thrown together. You know what I'm saying? And the Lucha Brothers, what they do very well is it doesn't matter who you put them up against, they find a way to make the match entertaining.
Right.
I will say another thing. Keith Lee worked with me in Mexico about maybe 4 to 6 years ago, bro, and he was kind of like not as athletic as Brian Cage, but he was Brian Cage-like, okay? Mm-hmm. And he wasn't this heavy. He was always heavy, but he wasn't this heavy. And, bro, he doesn't do anything anymore.
Right.
Yeah, he's really gotten big, and he's not as agile as he used to be. He's just not. I think he's kind of resting on his laurels, or the fact that he's still kind of an agile big man. And people are like, wow, for a big guy, he's agile, but he used to be super agile.
I don't mind that though, because maybe if he's getting bigger, he's working more like a monster instead of
that's true too.
Yeah. Right? Because because they did the couple this is actually good psychology, right? Penta would smack him, and Lee would just club him with the forearm. Club him with the forearm, but Penta would bump. Right. Okay, so then he'd get up and he'd chop him again, and Keith Lee would just boom, double chop him, but he would take him bro. That's the way if he's going to be that size, and you want to keep it simple, bro, just bump for every strike I give you and make it look, because I'm a big guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. It kind of works because Swerve is all over the place. He's doing stuff. So when Keith Lee comes in, it's like he doesn't have to do any. Like you said, he's gotten too big to do the athletic stuff, but you don't, for your character.
You don't have to, right?
Doesn't have to, right? Exactly. So
let me read you guys something from this article here, because Keith Lee's wife had a tweet, and so I'll give you the background and stuff. It says here, Dave Meltzer reported a few months after Keith's release, the WWE management, led by Vince, wanted the former NXT champion to trim down and lose some weight. However, Keith battled some serious health issues last year, with it being feared that he may even lose his life at one stage. Keith suffered serious complications after catching COVID-19 in January 2021, even noting in an emotional statement the effects of the virus that badly impacted his health. So taking to Twitter, one fan decided to praise WWE superstar Gunther for his incredible weight loss, but also slam Keith Lee in the process. And here's his tweet. Walter was a great professional wrestler to the diehards. Gunther, however, is the complete product of what it means to be a superstar. Everything is special about him. He did what Keith Lee refused to do, and the results are in the presentation. So Maya Lee or Maya Yim rather,
Mia
Yim, responded to the fan. Walter is awesome, and then she put in quotes, "What Keith Lee refused to do. When we weren't sure if he was going to live, the doctors told him that if he elevated his heart rate, he could literally die. So working out, even jogging, was not an option. But go off about how he chooses to be fat and lazy. So at one point, the weight gain could have been attributed to his inability to work out, but I don't know what his situation is now. I mean, he's in a wrestling ring. He's wrestling. Maybe he has to keep an eye on the heart rate or something like that. But
boy, he didn't never look like he blew up.
Yeah,
at all. But he kept everything very basic and simple, and and the finish looks good. Because he's such a big freaking guy, so it's like there's no way anybody should kick out of that, So it's like
maybe he does have some limitations, but if he does, should he even be in the ring at this point? And should he wait to, I mean, I'm sure the doctors cleared him, but
right.
Are you really that concerned, Joe?
I'm just making comments.
Obviously,
no. Are you really that concerned?
I'm not concerned.
No, you're not. So, for bringing up superficial conversation under the guise of being caring and virtue signaling.
Yeah, it's 20 months ago, Joe.
I'm talking about his performance now. I'm just saying.
There's nothing wrong with his performance. He just looks overweight, and he has to cut down and do this, like the cartwheels and everything, and he's not going to dive over the top rope anymore. No, I mean, you'd be stupid to. Who's going to catch you? You're going to cripple somebody, maybe. So afterwards, the Acclaim come out, and they got, I'm 54. Konnan saying the Scissor Me stuff. They got shirts that say "Scissor Me, Daddy." I guess maybe that their audience is fine with that, but I think it's Yeah,
their audience and the Get My Go audience is real big on that.
Right. And by the way, they need to darken the arena and stop shooting the crowd. Bro, the crowd, every time they had a crowd shot of anybody in the crowd, they looked like they were fat, out of shape. The one time they shot, there's a fat girl with the COVID mask on, and just like a very unattractive looking crowd. They shouldn't even. Don't
remember when Rick Rude would come out and call the crowd fat,
all you
overweight,
fat, out
sweat
of
hogs.
Shape, sweat, right? Yeah. I mean, that's what the crowd literally looks like. I'm not hating. I'm not, bro. The WWE crowd looks very different from that crowd. This crowd is mostly black shirts. Like literally, like 80% of the crowd is black shirts, and the Raw and SmackDown crowds are more colorful in what they're wearing. Like they have on nicer clothes. And bro, one of the glaring things is the ticket prices to the difference in ticket prices to these shows. I was texting Double J. And I was talking, we were texting about ticket prices. Bro, he said their C shows, like C towns are doing like $250,000 gates because they're selling the tickets for like $140 and like the nosebleeds are $80, stuff like that. Like these tickets are much cheaper, which is why you get a cheaper looking crowd into the shows, and you don't need to be shooting the crowd. And they do it, and I'm like, ugh,
What were you trying to say, Joe?
Go ahead.
Along the lines of that "Scissor Me, Daddy" chant and T-shirt and all that, there was another shirt people pointed out on Twitter that it's "Pin Me War Daddy!" ! Now, if you're a male fan and you're wearing the "Pin Me War Daddy" shirt or chanting that or making signs, that's a little.
Pin Me War Daddy.
There's also another shirt going around called "Plank Me Joe," and that's also you could get them at Joe's T-shirt store.
What is plank?
And Joe will be very happy to plank you.
Yeah, you buy a shirt, I'll do anything.
Don't say that.
This was hysterical.